How stupid are taters? Taters are so freaking stupid, and that includes a lot of Muslims as well. Did you, by the way, get a chance to look at this on his hearing date? He turned up
Let me show me.
with a copy of the Quran in his hand. Look at this. That's a copy of the Quran in his hand.
Yeah. I saw that.
So this guy, Tam Khan, he says, "Free the Tates, mashallah, brother," at Cobra Tate, walking with the Holy Quran in his hand. Like it's a PR stunt, and he knows what he's doing. And idiots are so stupid. And guess who else is in there? Like, obviously, there are a lot of Muslims who are praising him. Guess who else is in there? This guy is a major disappointment.
Who?
Majid Nawaz.
Are you serious?
He's saying mashallah.
Oh my god. Oh my
Majid
god. This
Nawaz
guy
says mashallah. He's gone fully loony.
He has lost it, man. This guy. He
Do you think
first
he's
went
just a clout chaser?
anti-vax.
Do you
He
think
went
he's a clout
anti.
chaser?
I think he's just broken. I think his mind is just broken. Like, I think he's just a moron.
He's just fucked.
Like,
You reckon he's fucked?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any form of like calculated, like this is how, like I don't think he's like this is how I manipulate the crowd. I think he's just like an idiot.
No, but he's going with a very popular narrative though, because a lot like look, taters are stupid. So if this is a golden time to seek to get clout. Start promoting Andrew Tate, start peddling this Matrix narrative, you would gain a lot of young teenage stupid boys and men. You would gain a lot of subscribers and followers. So I'm just thinking, is that calculated in that sense? Because he's a total.
But at the price of killing people, because Majid Nawaz is responsible for people dying. Like he spread anti-vax conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
that gets people killed. Like he has people's lives on his hand. Like that, what form of how many social media followers is worth that? Like, do you think like?
Oh no! I'd rather.
Okay, no,
I'm talking about this particular point that's seeking clout.
No, but but can we talk about Majid Nawaz that you highlighted right now? Okay, because I think it's a charitable. Like people think I'm insulting him when I'm saying he's stupid. Okay, that is a nice thing you could say to Majid Nawaz, because if he's not stupid, then he's knowingly spreading information out there that is getting people killed. So assuming at this point that Majid Nawaz is an idiot is a charitable take, because the alternative is a lot worse. Is somebody chasing clout, even if that comes at the expense of getting people killed. What a waste.
This whole thing, there's so many atheists who actually believe in these anti-vax conspiracy theories. Look at this. Sam Harris actually made a very good argument. He did a thought experiment. He said, imagine if instead of older people dying from COVID, we had young kids dying from COVID. We would have had a totally different outlook. Imagine, I'm repeating Sam Harris. Imagine if COVID actually was not this invisible virus. It was something like monkeypox. It made us ugly. Then it would have been right in our faces that this is happening. Like you would know immediately. None of this conspiracy that, it could be flu, could be something else, maybe it's not that. We would have had a totally different. Now it's like, it's not the old people are dying, not everyone has to get vaccinated. But now we would say, no, everyone has to get vaccinated because my kid might die. Right? So we would have had a totally different outlook the way we've had, because obviously it did not stop the spreading of the virus. But imagine, it actually did do it. So these are some other arguments that they've built their entire argument of conspiracy around, which obviously we knew along the way people are going to make mistakes. We're going to learn along. By the way, this is a very stupid argument if you want to debunk the whole COVID conspiracy that the vaccines don't stop the spread or spread the infection. The vaccines don't stop the infection. But if you're not vaccinated, then you're more likely to be hospitalized and then you're more likely to suck the resources. I remember at the peak of its infection rate in Australia, I think Australia went up to something like 95% of hospital what's the word? Um, Occupancy.
Capacity.
Yeah, capacity. Yeah. So 95% of its capacity. And we were worried that, okay, are we going to have Italy and what happened in New York? Are we going to have that? But at the same time, people are getting inoculated. So, okay, so I got COVID eventually after my 2 shots. And then I wasn't hospitalized. Yes, I was very sick, but I wasn't hospitalized. And I did not freaking die. Okay, this is anecdotal, but we've seen the charts how the death of unvaccinated people. I think in 2021, 85% of the people who died from COVID were unvaccinated. Were unvaccinated people. How many of them were? How many of them were conspiracy theorists, or how many of them deliberately did not take the vaccines because they thought, "Oh, I'm going to die." Yes, there have been myocarditis. What is that called? That the heart condition from Pfizer or whatever. There are some side effects. We know that. Even I felt some heart pains at some point, but I've recovered entirely. Like, no, I wouldn't even say that I was in pain like there was any damage per se. Like, I felt sometimes, I felt a little pain. Maybe I lost a lot of weight as well because I was traveling, so it could have been that as well. I don't know, but I don't have any pain in my heart. So anyway, I'll just wrap it up. So these anti-vaccine conspiracy theories, I would make a general argument that no freaking government would want its citizens to die in mass numbers. It is bad for business. It's bad for economy. No government would want it. And independently, all these governments have come up with the idea. Yes, they keep quoting the Israeli report on the on the vaccines, but even that doesn't say that, okay, you know what, yeah, it recognized some side effects and blah blah blah. They were the first ones to recognize it, but they did not say that, okay, you should not get vaccinated. So yeah,
I need to this is so stupid, this is so dumb. Okay, okay, we have a lot of anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theories in your live chat, Harris. Okay, and I was waiting to see what arguments do they have. And this is the level. This is
very quickly. He says, "Look at this conspiracy. Ask Bill Gates if he thinks vaccination is good to reduce people. I'm out. Why? Hang on. So why are we not dying then? We all got vaccinated. Why are we not dying?
These are so stupid, guys. You guys are so. You guys need to educate yourself, and you guys are at such a low level. You guys are at such a low level. I'm sorry to say that, but you cannot take yourself, like, nobody should be taking you seriously. Look at the level of argumentation here. Okay, he's saying my grandmother, this is his argument, this is his evidence for why this whole thing is a conspiracy. My grandmother have been surrounded with people with COVID and she never caught it. She's healthy as a newborn with 105 years of life experience. Is this your study? Is this your sample? You are using a sample size of one person. You are not. I'm trying to be polite here. So I'm just gonna say you are not very smart. Okay, you're using one of the most obvious logical fallacies that is out there in the planet. Anybody that has spent any amount of time on any content on watching debates or watching arguments by people knows that this is not a line of reasoning that should be taken seriously. Have you not heard of the term anecdotal evidence? Do you not know that science coming up with conclusions is based on large samples of studies? That my grandma, your personal experience, or a sample size of one person does not prove anything. Even a sample size of 1,000 people should be observed in a controlled environment with a control group, while isolating many other external factors. This is how you come up with such stupid conclusions, because this is your methodology. You should be embarrassed. This is on the internet right now forever for everybody to see, and I am feeling secondhand embarrassment on behalf of you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, you should be ashamed that if this is your line of reasoning.
Look at it. Amelia's come out as well. Harris, you're young. The side effects will be much severe in an older person. Actually, no. The claim is that younger people are getting more side effects, and younger people are dying of heart attacks and all that. But having said that, though, again, the data is not in your favor. I would just go talk about Australia. 85% of Australians have had vaccines, 2 shots of vaccines, and I think 70% have had at least one, or something, 75%, something like a huge number. Why are we not dying? Why are we not dropping like flies? It's been more than a year. It's not like this was just like any other conspiracy theory. This was another mind-bogglingly stupid conspiracy theory. We had more people. I heard about more people dying during the days of COVID in Pakistan. Like a friend of a friend died. Someone died in someone's neighborhood. I heard about that, especially in Pakistan. Yeah. But I haven't heard anyone like these deaths have gone. They've disappeared. No one is just dying. People are not dying. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I mean, now we have data. Now it's been more than a year. People have been vaccinated. This is embarrassing, Armin. Like, I mean, what evidence do these people know? Again, I'll go back to Sam Harris's argument. If these people were getting these monkeypox kind of, if this virus was making us ugly, they would have taken it more seriously. If young kids had been dying, if the virus was dangerous for young kids rather than older people, they would have been more curious. They would have been more strident, or they would have been insisting on, hey, everyone should get inoculated. But then I argued against that. I think Sam Harris is underestimating human stupidity. People still would have come up with some conspiracy theories. People still would have said something like, "Oh no, the makeup industry, in case of if the virus made us ugly, the makeup industry did it so they could sell their beauty products." Or the government introduced the virus so reduce the population by killing kids so they can open borders and let the migrants come into our beautiful countries. So people would still have come up with some conspiracy theories. But as I said, as a general rule of thumb, if you're not stupid, understand this. If people start dying, this is bad for the capitalist world. He's saying that, Bill Gates said that, population should be reduced. Yes, a lot of people think that. A lot of us think that, okay, what is the limit? 10 billion, 11 billion, 15 billion? Where are we going to stop? Elon Musk has a different idea on that. But when we go towards welfare society, people will die out regardless. We don't need to achieve this. You think if this Thanos thing happened overnight, like if 50% of the people died, or there was this grand conspiracy, these people gave you vaccine, why haven't they died yet? Why have we not seen 20% of the world's population wiped out? Because definitely way more than 20% got vaccinated all across at least the developed world. Why are these people not died out? If, let's just say, even 5% of the world's population immediately died, the economy would be effed. The economy would be effed.
You're right. Governments right now want more population. They don't want less population. One, two, there will always be some side effects to almost everything that you do on such a mass scale. But the conspiracy theorists will always jump on those like small amount of side effects to just like make it, and actual side effects. Sometimes some there are some harm, but it's so minuscule compared to the unanimous agreement over the fact that the vaccines save the planet. It's the people who got vaccinated, the places where they had higher vaccines, the COVID stopped. Hospital capacities did not reach in places where more people vaccinated. So many people would have died if hospitals were maxed out on their capacities, not just from COVID, but for so many other things. They managed to delay their rate of infection and managed to keep the hospitals, available to more people. Do you know how many people would have died if the hospitals were filled up to max capacity? This is beyond reasonable doubt now. This is so much. You are like, oh, what about this? What about this? You are like, do you have any idea how full of crap you are to think that you have figured out something that the entirety of the scientific community have failed to recognize? You are so full of crap.
They do quote some random conspiracy theories scientists as well who actually say that. Some doctors who say that.
Why
But
are
by the
you
way,
so?
medical doctors are not scientists. Okay, they are also seeing
Yeah.
amongst. They have a very limited data. So a medical
Okay.
doctor's opinion
Yeah.
is the immunologist. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you're right, Harris. First of all, you don't even know what authority to appeal to. You don't even know what the medical doctors are waiting for the scientists so that they appeal to them. It's not the medical doctors that come up with the data. There's medical research that the medical doctors appeal to. So even when you want to do appeal to authority, you don't know what authority to appeal to. You're a moron. And also, you're like, you are not the authority. We didn't claim we are the authority. We're just telling you what the authority in the scientific community is telling you. You're the idiot who doesn't understand what authority to even appeal to. You're just like consuming like right-leaning conspiracy theorists, YouTubers or bloggers, and then you're like, oh, you are not the authority. Well, I'm sorry, neither are you. At least we're appealing to the correct authority, unlike you who are appealing to the false authority. That when you are not an expert, what you have to become good at is to recognize who has the
Look at the
credentials for you
camera.
to listen to. No, that's it.
Always,
Like,
always look at the camera though. Like it's more
yeah.
powerful. But Amelia's another comment. Amelia's saying we still don't know the side effects that can affect generation. This is such a cop out. Did you know what are the side effects? Like generations now. Like how many cars we drive, how much carbon dioxide of these fumes that come out of your exhaust, how much of that we put in the environment, what's happening to us, what kind of side effects is that going to have on our generation? No, we don't do that. We look at the data with the experiment. They tried. Yes, they trialed it. They released it after nine or 10 months of trials or whatever. Yes, which is slightly shorter, but again, a lot more people would have died. So it was a desperate hour. We did it. Nothing happened. Look, we're fine. If you're going to say, hey, majority of the world's population, not even 1% has died from COVID vaccine. Not even 1%. This is just your conspiracy theory that you said that, oh, it wouldn't be categorized as blah, blah, blah. Again, if a huge number of people were dying, we would have known about it. Just like when people were dying from COVID, we knew it. We saw that hospitals were maxed out. Morgues were maxed out in New York, in Italy. They were maxed out in India. Packs of people were dying on the streets. It happened. Yes, there was a fake video as well in India, which was a gas leak or something. But still, people were dying. We took photos of Shamshan Ghats where they burned the dead. We saw photos. And so if all these people got vaccinated in huge numbers, why are morgues not full now? You know why? Because the normal amount of people that we have calculated that, okay, every day so and so many number of people died. That's what's happening. The death rate has gone back to normal. That's why people are not dying. But when something like a pandemic happens, an unusual number of people die. And that's what happened during COVID. And it's not happening.
By the way, they also keep moving the goalposts. First, they tell you like, "Oh, half the population of the world is going to die within 2 years," and that doesn't happen. Like, "Oh, what about like 10 years?"
I remember that one.
They keep moving.
My uncle was an anti-vaxxer, yeah. So my uncle said that, "Oh, I'm not going to get vaccinated," but then he couldn't make up his mind. He does respect me. He does think that I am a rational thinker. So he did ask me. He doesn't. He's a devout Muslim and all that. But whenever he wants a well thought out answer or something, he does consult with me. So I remember I was in Greece at that time, and he asked me, "Are you getting vaccinated?" I said, "Yeah, I've already been vaccinated twice now." He said, "I'm not getting it." And I heard about it before as well. Like, "Oh, I'm not going to get it." He was being an anti-vaxxer. I said, "Get it." He said, "No." And then he said, 2 years later, he peddled that. He said, "I've heard that we're going to die within 2 years." And then I said, okay, well, all of us are getting vaccinated, but then there were some problems as well. Like, like he had a kid and all that. So then one day he woke up, and then I'd been putting that in his ear, like, it's okay, nothing's going to happen. Like, again, I use these arguments. By the way, remember the German lady we went to? She also consulted with me, but I couldn't convince her to get vaccinated. But anyway, but listen to this story. So he came up with the answer. He said, okay, you know what? I'm getting vaccinated because everyone else in my family is vaccinated. If everyone does die after 2 years, what am I going to do all alone? So that was the reason to get vaccinated.
By the way, I know, Harris, you think I'm like crazy, but I'm going to say this, YouTube. No, because you think like I'm being paranoid. But YouTube, we are not anti-vaccine. We're making like we're just for the
Of
record.
course.
Yeah, of course. I know.
We
I
are
just
we
wanna,
are we are we are the tools of big
yeah.
pharma,
We're
Pfizer,
the
Astra. We're the
we're like
globalists.
we're the globalists. Yes. Okay. So just a few comments here. I need to respond to this, but we need to respond to these fast because we need to end the stream.
Yeah.
It says for Space Potato is saying you are claiming to be an authority. We never once. You're such an idiot. You don't even listen to what we're saying. We didn't even once claim to be an authority. Just because we're telling you what the authority in the scientific
FDA.
field has said, what we are just telling you what they're saying. Where did we tell you that we're the authority? We're telling you what the scientists are saying. We're telling you what the people with the actual authority are saying. You moron! You're not even listening. You're not even responding to what we're saying. You can't even listen. You don't even know what you're responding to. Okay, so no, we're not. You know,
Like
you're imagining.
CDC,
But
FDA.
yeah.
Australia,
And
in
then
Australia, each and every single country has an authority. We had our own trials. Every country did, and I think we're going to believe in them, just like you would believe in your local country's federal aviation authority, in trusting that your pilot who's going to be flying your plane has done all the has gone through all the checks and balances and gone through proper training, and that's when we trust that. You're not going to go and interview your pilot and say, hey, by the way, do you know what this button does? Let me press this. No, you're going to trust the authority. You're going to say, okay, you're going to have to trust the system. And that's what the system is. Nobody died. You're right. 2 years. It's almost going to be 2 years. We're not dropping dead. We're fine.
Yeah.
The world's population.
You already said that. Okay, Darko is making fun of the people who are saying they unsubbed as if like, oh no, like I love it when people think like, oh, I unsubbed. Like, what do you want? Like, Harris, let's cry. Do you want to cry? Let's cry. You lost us. Okay. All right. All right. Troel is saying these are good, important point. The reason the mRNA vaccines were finalized quickly because so many people are crying, why did it happen so fast? Like they don't usually happen so fast. Right? He's saying it's because of two things: decades of preceding research, to massive public funding normally not available. All the other like vaccines that took much longer, if they had this much funding available to them so fast, it would have been happening a lot shorter. And also going into the future, you're going to see vaccines being produced a lot faster because of this whole one silver lining about this pandemic is that now we have a lot more resources and vaccine manufacturing centers and everything. So vaccine production is going to be a lot easier. This might have been even a blessing, this whole pandemic, because maybe we're going to get hit with a much more devastating virus in the future, and now we're ready because of all the infrastructure that we built because of this. And Troel is also saying, so the testing and safety parts of its development were done quicker because the resources available to it were a lot larger, and so the sample sizes was larger as well. Yeah, because it was a pandemic, it was easier to test these things as well.
Very quickly, I'm going to address this and we're going to move on from that. Similar example, thalidomide was used to treat morning sickness during pregnancy, but later it was found to cause diabetes in the babies born to those taking the drug. With pregnant women, you can find a lot, and this is why even during the COVID days and the vaccination days, a lot of people were actually giving more side effect warnings to pregnant women. So when women are pregnant, yes, it's almost a default go-to position that it could have some sort of an effect on the unborn child. So that's not a good example. If you were to say that, and again, like we know that there would be some sort of side effects. There would be, but the question here is the side effect more dangerous than the disease itself? The side effects of getting radiotherapy. You kill your good cells along with the cancer cells as well, but people still do radiotherapy just to add a few more years to their life, to their lives. So yeah, that's always a question. But I think
Okay, let's end it with a joke. Allied Atheist Alliance is saying the vaccine made me like anime, and Prometheus is responding, this sole reason is enough for being pro-vaccine. I don't know. I was gonna say the opposite. I was like, you're gonna. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah.
So you're saying they're not. They're trying people and they're making frogs gay. That's what Alex Jones said. Trying new medicine. Yeah. Anyway. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.